In the epistle to the Colossians, the Apostle Paul provides a stark warning against being captivated by misleading philosophies and human traditions that deviate from the teachings of Christ. Paul's admonitions are not merely doctrinal cautions, but are integral to maintaining the integrity of Christian faith. By understanding the structural significance of his warnings, believers can appreciate the profound impact of straying from Christ's teachings on faith, love, and understanding. In his letter to the Colossians, Paul fervently warns against the dangers of being ensnared by hollow and deceptive philosophies. These philosophies, based on human traditions and the elemental spiritual forces of the world, pose a significant threat to the purity of Christian doctrine. Paul's caution is not merely an abstract theological concern. It is a practical guide for preserving the spiritual health and integrity of believers. By examining Paul's teachings, we can gain a deeper understanding of how deviations from Christ's teachings can lead to a reliance on materialism and traditions, ultimately distancing believers from the true essence of their faith. Paul's warning in Colossians 2:8 is clear and urgent. See to it that no one takes you captive through hollow and deceptive philosophy, which depends on human tradition and the elemental spiritual forces of this world rather than on Christ. This passage underscores the danger of embracing philosophies that are rooted in human values like money or maximum pleasure rather than divine wisdom. When believers stray from a Christ-centered focus, they become vulnerable to adopting beliefs that are not only secular, but also spiritually empty. Paul emphasizes that these hollow philosophies can captivate and deceive, leading believers away from the transformative power of the gospel. In the same chapter, Paul continues to caution against the traditions of men. These human-made traditions, when followed uncritically, lead believers away from the teachings of Christ. Paul's critique of adhering to practices such as the worship of angels and self-imposed piety, Colossians February 18, 23, illustrates how deviations from true Christian teachings can foster an environment ripe for unhelpful and unrighteous customs. Human traditions, though they may seem harmless or even pious, often lack the transformative power of the gospel and can distract from the core message of Christ's teachings. The departure from Christ's teachings often results in the establishment or continuation of man-made traditions. This creates a vicious cycle. The void left by the absence of genuine Christian doctrine is filled with human traditions, which in turn further distance believers from Christ. This cycle underscores the importance of anchoring all teachings and practices in the truth of Christ. Without this anchor, believers are at risk of being swayed by external influences that lack the depth and authenticity of Christ-centered teachings. Paul's warnings in Colossians are not just admonitions, but are deeply intertwined with the practical spiritual health of believers. By understanding how deviations from Christ-centered teachings lead to the acceptance and continuation of philosophies and traditions that are fundamentally human and not divine, believers are reminded of the importance of anchoring all teachings and practices in the truth of Christ. This reminder serves as a powerful tool for Christians to evaluate their beliefs and practices, ensuring they remain true to their spiritual core, faith in and love for Christ and the Holy Spirit existing in all humanity. In a world filled with distractions and misleading doctrines, Paul's teachings in Colossians underscore the necessity of maintaining a Christ-centered doctrine to avoid the pitfalls of empty deceits and misleading traditions. This love-centered approach is not only crucial for individual spiritual health, but also for the collective integrity of the Christian community. Through Paul's teachings, we are called to a deeper, unwavering commitment to the transformative power of Christ's teachings, ensuring that our faith remains grounded in divine wisdom rather than human folly.